I have created a real A2A agent with a client, which is a A2A client. As you can see here, I will close this terminal. So that's an A2A client. Okay, then I have an agent that using an API to do the currency conversion. That's from Frankfurter. It's a live API. Now let's run this agent. I'm opening the terminal. Now, first I need to run the server. So uv run space, this will open up our server. Now the server is running on port 1000. Now let me send the request, which is how much is 250 US dollar, which is here 2050 US dollar in euro. Let me change this to 2500 US dollar. Let me save it and let me run this. Okay, now this information will go and it will fetch the API Frankfurter conversion, and now this is going to convert US dollar to euro. Now 2500 US dollar is 2153.875 euro. Yeah, so we implemented both client and also the server. Now let's go through how I implemented this. So I have a server implementation within the app folder, and our server implementation is called agent file. So in the agent, I am importing the lang core create react agent and also lang chains Google generative AI for creating the AI agents. Yeah, the create react agents and memory saver from langgraph, and lang chains we have Google generative AI. Okay, and then we have a tool function created by using this @tool decorator. The name of the function is get exchange rate. That is going to call this API Frankfurter app. It's a free API call without any authentication mechanism. We just need to pass the currency from and currency to in the parameters and then process the response. Yeah, and in the currency agent class, we have defining the system instruction for this and an initialization function in the initialization function, so that whenever this currency agent class is initiated, we will initiate this function also. That means we create the real agent using the create react agent framework. And to pass this, we use chat Google generative AI module from LangChain, and we using Gemini's 2.0 Flash, and we pass that model. Then tools, we use the get exchange rate method, and the memory we use langgraphs checkpointer. Then system instruction we pass, and also we have a predefined response format, which is like this. Yeah, a status and then a message in the string format. Now whenever the agent is called, we call the invoke method that will get the agent response, and then we process the response from the agent based on its response status. If it's completed, we will get the structured response, and only supported types is text for this sample agent. Now let's see how this AI agent created by LangGraph is used A2A server protocol to maintain this wrapper. So I am in the agent executor file where I have A2A server, events, agent execution, events, task, and types method. Okay. And in the currency agent executor, this is the file which will receive the user query, and then it will initiate the currency agent. It will invoke the currency agent and pass the currency agent with the user query and also the task information. So if there is no existing task, then it will create a new task and it will pass to the event stream using the task object that we created here. And if already a task object existing, then we will update the existing task by using the task ID and also the context ID. And based on the type of response that we get from the task, we will update the task status. Yeah, so there are many status. One is task is not completed and not require user status. That means it's working. If it is it's not completed but requires some information, then it is input required status. Otherwise, the stat is complete, the task is complete, and we can get the artifact, I mean the real output of the task from that task information. Yeah. And finally, we give this task back to the calling client system. And there is one more component in our server implementation, which is our main file. Okay, the main file is our entry point. When the test client is initiating a call to the remote agent, the main file will receive it. Why? Because the main file is served with the server. So we have, when calling the main function, when we run uv run dot space dot, the main method is getting called, and in the main method we are saying that okay, start the Google API and then start this server on the predefined host and also the predefined port number. Okay, and then we also define what are the agent cards and what are the skills and so on. So supported content types, and here we will say okay, start this application using this agent card and also this request server. So A2A is the server we use, right? A2A server, we are using A2A server. Now we are saying UVCon, which is the A2A server infrastructure we are using to surface this to receive the HTTP calls. We are building the server on the predefined host and predefined port. That's why when we are running, let me show you one more time the terminal. When we are running this server, the server starting at localhost and 10,000. Okay. Yeah. So our server components are including main.file, then agent executor, and then agent file. Okay. So all the agent logic is run on the agent file. Okay, we are implemented the agent using a tool to Frankfurter API and also the LangGraph create React agent. Here, create React agent and LangGraph's API, Frankfurter API for the currency conversion. And then we have the agent executor to create the task request and process the task request. Then we have the main file, which will receive the client request and send the request to the agent executor. Agent executor will process the task and then pass it on to the agent file. So these three components are our A2A server implementation. Now when we going back to the client information or the client implementation, we have one file which is test underscore client. Here we need to get the card. So we need to provide the card location, and then we need to use the card resolver method from the A2A client and some types of agent card, message and parameters, send message request. In terms of streaming, send streaming message request. We already seen this in one of my videos. You can check those videos if you are not already aware of this. And this location and port number is our remote A2A server is running, and we configured the remote A2A server into port 10,000. That's why this value is here. And now we need to start the client, and the client is using the A2A card resolver to get the card. Once we have the agent card, we will process that agent card, and our API call will use that agent card and the information to send our payload. So A2A client is initiated with the agent card. Okay, and then we creating the message payload, which is in our case we are sending how much is $2,500 in euro, and then we sending this request and we getting the response from A2A client dot send message request, and finally we will dump all this response from the agent. If it's a streaming request, we can send the response request using send streaming message request, and the response we can get it from clients and message streaming type of request. And since it's a streaming response, we need to iterate through it every chunk in the response, and then finally we will dump into our console. You can also surface this in the Gradio or any other UI framework which is fit for this agentic frameworks. I hope you enjoy this video. More videos will follow. Please subscribe to this channel if you are not already done. We will be discussing a lot more about AI and AI agents.